Hey, Etan, Guy here. What? I'm back, and I'm gonna be doing another Dinosaur Toys review because my last one did pretty well. So, seems like something people like watching, so might as well do another one. I'm gonna do it similar to last time with a few changes. First change, I will only be looking at the accuracy of the dinosaur toys. I will not be looking at the quality because last time I just felt like I was saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm just gonna put that to the side and only focus on historical accuracy or scientific accuracy. I will still use a 5-point scale, 1 being really, really bad and 5 being
pretty epic.
Let's get right into it. The first dinosaur I have is this guy here. Now I'm fairly confident in what this is. Are you? Do you know what it is? If you know what this structure is here, then you can figure it out. It's like the only dinosaur that has it. It's Concavinator. Now, granted, I've only ever read the name. I haven't heard it spoken, so my pronunciation might be a little iffy, but it looks like Concavinator. Concavinator corcovatus. And it translates to Cuenca hunter with a hump, or the humpback Cuenca hunter. And it's pretty easy to tell why it's called the humpback. It's got this weird looking dingus here. So let's look at how accurate it is to Concavinator. Although I do have to say this toy has some pretty cool features. It has some buttons on it. So the first button on the back. Yeah, and open and close its mouth. That's pretty cool. You can also press on its hump or spine and it wags its tail. So that's also a pretty cool feature about it. So as accuracy goes, I'll just take it anterior to posterior. So from here to here, starting with the skull. The skull is interesting looking. I mean, there have definitely been less accurate skulls out there. It reminds me of an Allosaurus skull in a way. What is Concavinator related to? Carcharodonta? Okay. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of an Allosaurus skull, which is not too far off from what it's related to. Although this mandible here, I don't know why. When its mouth is open, it just looks wrong. It doesn't seem like it's proportioned correctly. Definitely the lower jaw would be much more robust than this little twig of a lower jaw. But otherwise, like, I don't have a large problem with it. I know there's limitations to toys and how they portray teeth. I don't care if they portray the teeth as little nubs. As long as if they have teeth, I'm fine with it. Moving down, looking at the arms. These arms perplex me. They really do. They're like human arms almost. You know, let me tell you, this guy's jacked. Like, look at his bicep. He's a hefty guy. He goes to the gym. He also has thumbs. I don't know why dinosaurs didn't have thumbs. Dinosaurs only had claws. Mammals, humans have thumbs. Primates have thumbs. Dinosaurs did not have thumbs. Although, a little sidetracked here, I believe there was a pterosaur discovered rather recently, within the last year or two, that had opposable thumbs. Now that's pretty cool. This guy definitely did not have thumbs. So he's got like human arms. He's got like jacked biceps and triceps and just like human hand, except he only has 4 fingers instead of 5, which he would have had 3 anyway. So I guess that's not terribly accurate if he's supposed to have 3. What would a hump be used for in nature? Like, what could this possibly be used for? It's bizarre. Like, let's say Spinosaurus. We know that Spinosaurus has a giant sail on its back, which it could have been thermoregulation. That's a really common theory for big structures like that. This is definitely way too small for thermoregulation. And there's also the fact that the remains that were found could be incomplete. So a reconstruction like this might not actually represent what the animal looked like in actuality. It represents what we have of the animal. That's a possibility as well. But to be completely honest, the function and placement of the hump, I'm just not completely sure about. Very peculiar animal, for sure. Yeah, his front end is a little iffy. His back end, I'm okay with. Color scheme, I'm not even gonna bother with grading color because it's purely artistic. Although we do know the color of a few dinosaurs. Concavinator is not one of them. So what does my good friend Concavinator get on the accuracy scale? You can tell what it's supposed to look like, even though there are a few things here and there. So I want to give it a 4, but that might be stretching it. I'll give it a 3 because its arms really, I don't like its arms. It's a dinosaur. You can tell it's a dinosaur, so there's that. I'll give it a 3. 3.1459. My next dinosaur is not actually supposed to represent a dinosaur. It's this thing. Oh. Hello, how are you? Let's get it straight. This guy, I guarantee you, is supposed to represent a Dimetrodon, which is not a dinosaur, just for clarity's sake. It's not a dinosaur. It lived before the dinosaurs and is what is considered a stem mammal, or like a basal mammalian ancestor. It's not a dinosaur. Just to make that straight. And this guy's supposed to look like a Dimetrodon, although I don't think it's doing that good of a job. Oh, it lights up and roars. I will give it credit that it lights up and it roars, which is cool. Dinosaurs and early non-dinosaurs most likely didn't roar. Sorry to burst your bubble. Big roaring animals, not really a thing they did. Dinosaur noises were more either like chirping like birds or like a low rumbling noise, but no big roar. Like no, I'm sorry, it's not that. So let's get into it. His head is a T-Rex head, or at least it's supposed to resemble a T-Rex head. A Dimetrodon head would look nothing like this. I mean, the defining characteristic of why Dimetrodon is not a dinosaur, not the defining characteristic, but one of the big characteristics is the fact that it is a synapsid, which means that it only has one hole in its skull. By that, I mean temporal fenestra. Dinosaurs have 2. Dinosaurs are diapsids, so they have 2 temporal fenestra, or fenestrae if I wanted. Fenestrae? Fenestra plural. Fenestrae, I'm going to call it that. They have 2. The lateral temporal fenestra, which is on the side, and the supratemporal fenestra, which is on the top. Dimetrodon, synapsid, only had 1. Dimetrodons also didn't have antorbital fenestra, which is antorbital, anterior to the orbit, in front of the eye. Etymology. So they have a pretty unique looking skull. And this is nothing like a Dimetrodon skull. I mean, its whole namesake, Dimetrodon, 2 measured teeth. I'm gonna look that up. 2 measures of teeth, yeah, I was right. This guy only has one type of tooth, which I know, it's nitpicky. I said I wouldn't be doing it about teeth, but I'm just saying it only has 1 type of tooth and it's real sharp. I hate its head. That's all I'm saying. It has a sail, which is completely clear. I won't dock it on that because it's cool. It turns on, it lights up, that's cool. Although the sail would be more of like a bigger sail. I do have an issue with the legs, why its knee goes backwards on the front legs and it doesn't have an ankle. I'm kind of confused about that. That's not really something that, I just don't understand why the knees are going in opposite directions. Its legs did not look like this. It was not a leggy boy. That was not him. One of the big characteristics of dinosaurs is the position of their hips. So obviously, since Dimetrodon's not a dinosaur, it's gonna have different hips and leg structures. And it does sprawl. Okay, Dimetrodon was a sprawler. Super Smash Bros. Sprawlers. Why do I do this? So overall, for accuracy, I'm giving him a big fat 2. I don't like him. I don't like you. I don't like you. Time for the kicker. This is the one that we've been waiting for. I'm crying. I'm literally crying. I'm literally crying over this. Okay. This is an abomination. I mean, okay, it's cute in a unique way. It's not like disturbing to look at. I mean, it kind of is, but that's beside the point. I don't know what it's supposed to be. At first I was like, okay, hadrosaur? But then I looked at its feet and I was like, oh, it's got toe claws. Okay, then it's probably a dromeosaur. It's supposed to be some type of dromeosaur, which I could not tell you anything else about it because it is so... I don't know what this is. Dromeosaur, I'm calling it dromeosaur. It clearly is supposed to be ridden by people. I'm not gonna get into that, okay? This is a kid's toy. Kids are allowed to play with cavemen and dinosaurs. It's allowed. They're allowed to do it, even though it's not. Dinosaurs died so long ago. Humans have only been around for not that long. Beside the point, kids are allowed to pretend. I'm judging the accuracy of a kid's toy. Good one, Ethan, good one. Its head. Its head is probably like, I didn't like the Dimetrodon head, but at least that was like a head that would exist, that could have maybe existed somewhere. You know, Phineas and Ferb, this is the Phineas of dinosaurs. Like, he has a cone for a head. Like, no living thing would have a head shaped like this. This is not a real thing. This is a fake, made up monster. I use that lightly because it's kind of cute. I'm calling this a made up creature, even though it's kind of resembling a dromeosaur in a way. I'm not gonna do my hand spiel. I know. My hand spiel, my dinosaurs can't, you know. Might I also mention he has hooves? This is an ungulate dinosaur. It's not supposed to have hooves. No dinosaur has hooves. You know what does have a hoof? A horse, a rhino, a cow. But a dinosaur? No. You can't have hooves on dinosaurs. That's wrong. That feels wrong. Okay, so this guy. If you guessed a 1, you're right. It's a 1. Or I could do a 0.9999 if I'm feeling frisky, because I strongly dislike it. It's cute, but it's a made-up creature. Not a real dinosaur. I would not categorize it with dinosaur. It resembles a bipedal thing with a tail. This could be an ostrich for all I know, which an ostrich is a dinosaur, so it's not an ostrich. I'm done with it. No more. And I have one last dinosaur. I wanted to include at least one herbivore. I have a carnivore bias, of course, but I do have an herbivore. This is a Parasaurolophus. At least it resembles one, because it has its crest. In this one, the crest is just one big, like it has its crest, but then it has like skin coming down from the crest onto the neck. Because we don't really have soft tissue for this particular animal, I guess it could be possible to have a crest with a layer of tissue going down, because we traditionally see Parasaurolophus with the crest coming out. It's separate, like the neck is visible underneath, but I wouldn't completely leave it out of the ballpark that this is possible. Oh, and he has a little butt thing. You can make him nod. He also has a little sail. It's not accurate in the way it's portrayed, although lambeosaurs, which Parasaurolophus is a lambeosaur, they had large neural spines, so coming from the vertebrae. It's not like Spinosaurus sail, but they definitely had like kind of a humpback-ish appearance. Not something like this. It'd be running down the entire dorsal part of the body. Although we do have a hadrosaur named Ouranosaurus, which had very large neural spines on its vertebrae. It could have been a sail, it could have been a hump. So Ouranosaurus would be the closest thing to having like a sail. But a sail like this would not exist on Parasaurolophus. Hands, you know, it's the hands. You've heard it enough. Once again, color scheme, purely artistic, nothing really interesting about it. It's bright, kids like it. So this one, I'll give a 3. I'll give a 3. I think it's on par with the Concavinator. I didn't go above a 4 for this. Hey kids, you want some dinosaur toys? I know where to get them for nice and cheap.